comedian, Marc Rice.
In the balcony. The mirrors are perfect, right? It makes it feel like it's present.
All right, next we're gonna bring in the maestro himself, Christopher Young.
How about that one? Oh my God! We haven't met tonight again, so it's been about decades.
Awesome. We're alive to tell the story.
Yes.
And all right, well next let's bring up the guy who put the face melt in the metal, Stephen E. Smith. Let's have a seat, guys.
This is a real treat.
I'm so excited to talk about this movie.
Only because I'm convinced that the only reason anybody even cares about this movie anymore is the music. So the fact that you two guys are here tonight, I mean, really, you deserve a big part of the credit for any lasting impression this movie made. The music is what it's all about.
You know, I was completely unaware that this film had a life after it came out. You know, it kind of flopped at the time.
Now, okay, in Mr. Dino De Laurentiis's view, this movie didn't flop. It did okay. It did okay.
It did.
Dino made his money, so it is not a flop.
We were all hoping for
I
that
thought the
Nightmare on
album
Elm Street.
would go through the
Okay.
roof, you know, and not much happened, and then the band broke up. And then about a year ago, I got a email from the company that's putting the Blu-ray out, saying that this is a huge hit all over the world, especially in Germany. And I came in and did an interview for the Blu-ray, and then all of this is happening now. So
Book trip to Germany.
So, I really want to start this. Obviously, you're all amazing and the performances are amazing, but we have to start by talking about Tony Fields, who played Sammy Kerr, for anyone who doesn't know, and he is tragically gone too soon. So I was kind of hoping you guys might have some stories to share.
I wish he was here tonight. That would be cool, right? Do you guys want to go first?
well, Tony was an amazing guy. He was a dancer, really. He wasn't a musician. But I don't know if you saw the music video, even beyond the film, he did an incredible performance. Unfortunately, he passed away from AIDS a few years later. And I don't know, you remember any stories from the set?
Well, I do, but just to give you a little more background on Tony, he was a solid gold dancer, if you remember. And he was in the Bad video and the Thriller video. He was one of Michael Jackson's dancers.
He was in Chorus Line, too.
Oh my gosh, really? Well, see, I didn't even realize that. And his physicality was amazing, you know, the moves. And we didn't get buddy on the set because he didn't want it to be like that. You know, I didn't know any better. I didn't really think much about it. So when we showed up, you know, I was 17 years old. I was ready to become best buddies, but he was like, you know what, he said it to me. He goes, I think it's better, if, you know, for the movie if we keep it a little bit separate. And so, but we had some magical rehearsals and things like that. I wish he could join us right now.
I remember Michael Murphy, one of the producers, when they were filming this scene in the gym at the end, one of the explosions went off near him, and Tony was backstage crying. Sorry to break the wall there, but
the great Sammy Kerr was not happy with the explosions. How about those sparks, by the way? That one spark effect.
Oh my gosh.
900 times throughout that movie. I think it's the cheapest effect they had. Right? It just keeps going. There's more sparks.
So
Cue the sparks. They had a big arcing machine on the set. I don't know if it pays off really when you watch the movie, but do you remember that they had a giant lightning machine? You know, they literally they would arc lightning from this machine.
So going into this movie, obviously it's all about the metal Was this something that all three of you, like, did you have to prepare for it? Were you already metalheads?
Well, the music didn't come together until the last minute because they were trying to get Gene Simmons and Kiss to do the music. AC/DC was going to do the music, and then decided they weren't going to because they were doing another Dino De Laurentiis film.
Maximum Overdrive.
And so their manager managed Fastway and said, well, they would be happy to do it. So they were in Ireland, and I flew up to Dublin, and they were recording in Windmill Lane Studios where U2 had recorded all their albums. And it came together in July of '86. So the film was coming out in October, so there wasn't much time. And the songs that were performed in the movie were recorded first, but all the other songs were still being written when the film was done. And so we would send them scenes from the film, and I'd get Eddie Clark on the phone and tell them what we're looking for the scene. And I think that's why it probably was their best album, because they were really writing for something. It wasn't just, let me come up with a song. It was, if you listen to the lyrics, it was playing to each scene, and it was a fantastic album. I mean, I was looking on YouTube today, so many videos of fans that it's like their favorite heavy metal album. And it just blows my mind.
It's a great album.
Do you know how much time they had? Remind me, how much time did they have for the score? Was I bought anything?
You didn't have much time. I mean, Chris, I remember he had a little apartment at the on-ramp of the 405 freeway.
Actually known as the rat hole.
Yes. And he sat at an upright piano and kind of pounded out the score, and then went into the studio with string players. Unfortunately, we got in a big fight with the director. Well, I don't know if you remember this, when they were mixing the film.
Oh, yeah. Did I get into a fight with him?
Well, I did, on your behalf.
I must say, I did learn a lesson, a couple of lessons. The first lesson really was from you, which was, believe it or not, the guitarist that we bought in for, for the score parts, was a new guy in town, I guess, and you said, you've got to use this guy, he's the greatest. I said, sure, fantastic, let's have him come in. I do remember, I think he was only in for 2 days, but I do remember the first day his hair was one color, the second day his hair was another color. But anyway.
That would be the electric guitar riffs and stuff in the soundtrack. That would be the electric guitar. You're talking about this electric guitar riffs and things?
Yeah.
This is who this is, right? Okay, cool.
But this guy, Rusty Anderson,
Right.
who now is the guitarist in Paul McCartney's band.
Yeah.
And I
Has
think,
been for years.
correct me if I'm wrong, I was kind of like, Rusty, read what's in the score. And I think the mistake I made was I didn't let him just go wild.
Yeah, at the time he was a studio musician, and people were saying he's the next Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, well, he was great. I mean, but usually if you bring someone who's a super player, leave the door open for them to do what they do best, as opposed to having to read exactly what's on the score. And anyway,
Well, what I was about to say is the fight I had with the director was because when they were mixing the film, they kept bringing the sound effects up, and we couldn't hear your score, which was brilliant. And today it was bugging me as well.
okay.
Because you wrote such a beautiful score.
I don't know. When doing a score for a film in which the focus is the songs, it's like, how do you figure out to come up with a language that's not fighting something that the audience will be focusing on primarily, again, which is the songs. But what I remember from that is that Charles Martin Smith, the director, wasn't able to be at the recording sessions. Right. And usually if the director doesn't come to the recording sessions, he's gonna be hearing the score for the first time on the dub stage. I've had that happen before. George Romero, I did, what the hell was the name of the movie? With the Dark Half. I'm sorry, the Dark Half score in George. That was recorded in Munich and he wasn't there. He heard it for the first time on the scoring stage. this is pre-synths, and so, like you said, you guys came over and I banged on the piano. I'm a piss-ass pianist anyway. But you guys seem to have gotten it, but because Charles wasn't there, he was hearing it for the first time, and I kept encouraging the music mixer to lift it. But here's the lesson that I learned, is that Joel Soisson did this to me. He said, I want to speak to you, Chris. And I stood right next to him, went off in the corner. He says, we want you to leave the dub.
That's right, they threw us out.
They threw you out too?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't remember you getting thrown out.
Okay, Charlie Martin Smith,
Yeah.
first time director, and
First
I just felt he didn't know what he was doing.
I'm loving all these stories, by the way. It was his first time. It was his first time.
And when I sat him down when I met him for the first time, because Joel and Michael brought me in because they had worked with me on
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and even before that, a movie called Avenging Angel.
We did that was our first movie.
What's that?
I was on that too.
Oh, you were in that? Gee, doesn't work.
It's a long time ago.
So, what was
But,
your metal boot camp?
My metal boot camp. Well, first of all, I love Charlie, by the way, because he was an actor. So for me, he
Yeah.
really understood my thing. And but I pissed him off a few times. Actors traditionally don't go watch the dailies. I guess different actors do it different ways, different sets do it different ways, but Charlie's thing was that it's not healthy to watch the dailies. You get two in your head, you start thinking it over, you start thinking about it. And so he didn't, I was not allowed, but I would sneak in and watch from the booth. Remember, I got in trouble for that. I got busted. Yeah, for watching the dailies. And then,
What did he do to you?
no. It was just, he just gave me the, I'm not supposed to do that. And then Mike Murphy, who I got along great with, what's up with Mike Murphy? I haven't heard from him in a long time.
He lives in South Africa now.
Yeah, I was
Does
gonna
he
say,
really?
I talked to him. And
Did you really?
Yeah, I
About
did.
this?
Yes.
Wow.
He's like, love it, don't live here no more.
Well, I feel better then that I haven't just ignored him. He's out in the South Africa. But about 2 weeks into the shooting, he comes up to me and he goes, you do this thing when you're acting, we call it monkey face. And he's right. When you watch the movie, I do it's my acting face. And I went, oh, don't do that anymore. Just no more monkey face. Keanu Reeves was up for the role, and I'm sure they're kicking themselves they didn't go with Keanu Reeves.
They got him for Bill and Ted.
But he was too cool. He rides a motorcycle. Come on.
No, I think that he cast you because as somebody who'd spent his career playing kind of like nerdy characters.
Does everybody know that? So Charlie Martin Smith played Toad in American Graffiti, and he went on to be in The Untouchables, and what was that? Never Cry Alone? What was that?
Cry Wolf.
Cry Wolf.
Cry Wolf. Never Cry Wolf. That's a movie where he's completely alone the whole movie, surviving in the wild. It's an amazing movie. He's great in that.
Yes.
He's made some amazing movies, yeah. And now he's found a niche. He directs all the animal movies. If there's a dog that finds its way home across the country, or Air Bud, the dog that played basketball, or the whale, or the dolphin that had a broken tail, or whatever that was, perfect. He does all those. They call him first for an animal movie.
Metal boot camp.
Metal Boot Camp, I don't know.
Did you
What-
take you on this role? Did they give you they're like, go listen to all these albums? Or
I did. I got into it, and I wore the jeans for 3 weeks, and I dropped off a copy of the opening monologue of the movie, audio recorded on a cassette tape for the director. That can work.
Like, that was your audition?
That could work both ways. That was like, in addition to the audition, like one day I wanted the part so bad I made this thing and dropped it off one day. That could work out against you too. You never know how that shit's gonna go. I've done stuff like that, and they look at you like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, but he liked it.
So, but at that point in your career,
I got into heavy metal.
well, yes, we saw that. But so you were on Family Ties, and you had a lot of projects offered to you. Why was this the one that you were like, I need to do it?
I wasn't very picky. Also, it was, I feel like I should just shut up and not say anything negative, but the script was funnier and scarier somehow than the actual movie ended up. It kind of ended up a little not funny enough and not scary enough, I thought. But it was, hey, they were talking to me about doing a movie. I don't know, I wanted to do it.
Because I know there was like a Patrick Dempsey movie you were almost in at the same time.
I wasn't. I was cast in, what was it called? Can't Buy Me Love. It was originally called Boy Rents Girl.
Yikes.
And because the movie's about he hires a girl to play his girlfriend, the popular cheerleader. And anyway, I got that movie, but I couldn't do it because of family ties and everything. They wouldn't let me have the contract. Nobody thought it was going to be a big hit, and it ended up being the biggest hit of that year. The Family Ties producers felt bad, and they wrote me an episode of Family Ties for Skippy called Love Me Do.
I don't know if that quite makes sense. Oh my gosh.
You get me.
I do. So this movie came out the height of the Satanic Panic and the Reagan era stuff, and it's really a big fuck you to that. It's kind of dangerous when you think about it. Was there ever a point, and this was before cancel culture, but were you guys ever thinking oh God, if I do this movie, why are you gonna work again?
Well, I think radio didn't play the music because they were afraid, there were things going on in Congress at that time, and they were afraid of what was going to happen to them. So they were afraid to touch anything satanic. Not that this is a very satanic movie, but there was that
Satanic enough
fear
for
of
him.
radio. It was a time when Ozzy had bit the head off a bat.
And he was still full on Prince of Darkness. There was no reality show. Nobody saw a funny side of him. They just saw him as this evil, evil man. And I think right before this movie came out, a woman had ended her life, and they were blaming him for it. And
Because of his song Suicide Solution,
Yeah.
he said that's why. We got to peek at Ozzy and catch a little glimpse of what everybody went on to understand about him.
Oh, it's sweetest
Through
guy.
the movie, right.
We actually became friends afterwards, and we were actually going to do a TV show together about a celebrity rehab that he would run. And we had a deal with HBO, and we had a lunch over at the Beverly Hills Polo Lounge. Ozzy, Sharon, and the two writers. And during the lunch, Ozzy started to freak out. Said, I can't do this. I can't talk about AA because you're not supposed to talk about AA. And we were supposed to go from the lunch to the president of HBO to close the deal. And he walked out. And he never did the show. And then 6 months later,
The Osbournes.
well, so I was actually going to ask you guys about that. You have two really great, rock and roll cameos. You've got Ozzy and you've got Gene. One of them, from my understanding, really liked being there, and the other one not so much. What was the experience like with them?
Well, they flew me to North Carolina to meet with Gene.
By the way, Wilmington, North Carolina is where we shot the movie, and there was a great beach, Wrightsville Beach nearby. It was people don't realize, but the whole movie we were, on the weekends when we were off and stuff, we're at the beach.
They were filming King Kong in the stage next door.
Were you working on King Kong too?
I didn't work on King Kong.
Oh, okay.
But I did go see the movie.
Yeah, they were shooting King Kong, and I would go rest in his hand, in his palm. And I would tell the stage manager or whatever, hey, if you need me, I'll be napping in King Kong's palm.
So anyway, Gene came in, and he had the feeling that I was going to corner him to do a song for the film. And he kept avoiding me. Every time I go to the stage, he'd go the other way.
Were you though?
So he finished filming. I still hadn't had the meeting with him. So I said, okay, he's leaving tomorrow. I'll drive him to the airport. And he got wind of that and said, no fucking way, I'm a professional driver, take him to the airport. So I never had the meeting with him, and there were no songs by him in the film.
He wore sunglasses in the movie, I don't know if you know that, but that was so he could read the lines. And I was 17, I really just didn't know as much as I know now. And who did, right? We were 17. But you're skinny, so it's a trade-off. And I said to him, can you do the thing with the tongue? And he said, I only do it for girls. But yeah, it was Ozzy. I've got a good Ozzy story because somebody contacted me about a fan in Michigan that couldn't go to Ozzy's concert because of his medical conditions. The doctor said at the last minute, no, not going to go. And they called me and they said, can you get an autograph picture or something? This poor kid, he wants to go to the Ozzy show so bad. And I called Sharon, Michael Murphy gave me Sharon's number in England, and I called and I left a message on the machine in England with the kid's address. Can you send a picture? And they showed up in the limo before the concert at the kid's house. Isn't that a great story? Kind of stuff you never, because so many charitable people like Ozzy, they don't, that's the whole point is to not make a video about it. They never told anybody they did that, they just did it.
That's
Yeah,
so sweet.
isn't that a good one? That's a good one. That's a good one. Because it's representative of what they did throughout the years. Even the last concert was 100% for charity.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that touches me. Chris, I know you were talking before about blending the score with the metal. Your score has like a lot of percussion. It feels very like dissonant, a lot of drums. Like, can you speak to the decisions and all the creative stuff that went into that?
Right.
I remember you were
He's buffering.
picking out tribal drums.
No,
For some
no.
reason.
You know, I'm embarrassed to say that I kind of forgotten the score. Now, I should have done my homework before I came. Yeah, but I've had millions of notes pass through my head, and so I'm not quite a real. But we didn't. Yes, it was dissonant because
There's kind of a tribal drum in the final sequence. It's
Yeah.
kind of a tribal bum bum.
there is one. I'm so sorry, guys. I really should have. But it's weird in that the minute, the film is dubbed, if there's a premiere, I'll go listen to see the film, listen to the score for the last time. I mean, I'll listen to it on its own again, but never in the context of the movie, because it's Alfred Newman. Once, Alfred Newman was the head of the music department at Fox for years, uncle of Randy Newman, father of Tommy and David Newman. Once said a film composer's immortality lasts from the scoring stage to the dub stage, knowing that, of course, once the music is dubbed into the movie, as I guess was the case here, it got buried under the dubbing, the sound effects. But to go back to the point, the thing that I learned from that, getting kicked out, or both of us getting kicked out, was that when you at this dub, first of all, I remember my hero was a guy named Jerry Goldsmith who passed away not too long ago. Fantastic composer. He was in the 200 plus club. He did scores for over 200 movies. And I discovered that he never went to any of the dubs. And I thought, gee, I guess he doesn't care about the scores if he doesn't show up to the dubs. Well, after I got kicked out of this one, I learned very quickly, the smart thing to do is don't go unless you're invited. But if you are invited, sit in the back, don't say anything. If they ask you, what do you think it's the best mix you've ever heard. And so
It was heartbreaking, though.
It was?
It was heartbreaking for me because
Okay, it was-
you worked so hard on that score and done it so quickly.
Did I?
And then we couldn't carry it.
Okay. What'd you say, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Okay. All right. So, I'm sorry I can't talk more intelligently about music that I wrote 40 years ago.
It's understandable.
It's been a while, all
40
right?
years ago, was it?
Oh my God.
39 years ago.
39, yes.
Next year is the 40th anniversary.
And I'm sure you guys are gonna get a lot of calls to do this. So Marc, I have to ask, there's photos online of you in this half-naked Thor situation from this movie. Conan,
With a
yes.
sword.
Yes,
And
what
a,
the
and a
fuck
fur
is that?
bikini.
Was that something you would have shot?
There was a fantasy sequence in the movie that got cut, but where I just picture myself as this mythic metal
Where
warrior.
is this footage? Like, I think we need it, right?
Yes. Fine, too.
Right, the pretty girl,
And
Orgolini.
Lisa Orgolini is grabbing my leg.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but a movie came out 10 years or so ago called Deathgasm. They put that scene back in the movie in their version, like.
No way.
Yes.
You are putting me on. I'm calling Sam.
No, different actors, but it's.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely an homage to these photos that exist out there. I don't know if there's.
I don't know if that's true, because we were making the photos in homage to famous images and things. It might not
I
be.
promise you, sir.
Really?
Can you guys vouch for me?
Okay.
Do I know what I'm talking about?
Movie-gasm?
I saw
Death
that.
And then there was also this more of Kevin Yeager's creature, Skeezix.
He did pretty good for himself, right? Yeah. Oh, he's
Yeah,
had a
oh
bigger
my
role.
gosh, he's huge now.
And in the end of the movie, he's just going like 1 second for one.
Was there
thing.
more of him in there?
There was more Skeezix in the script at least,
Yeah.
and then I think they shot more too. Yeah.
Well, I just never.
It's a combination of things when they're editing it. They gotta keep it short and stuff, and then like Jaws, you don't want to show the monster too much. And all that.
That's fair, but
I didn't want a competing
like,
monster
that
with
thing was-
Sammy Kerr and all that.
it looks like a lot of work went into that guy just for a couple of shots.
It did. I wonder where Skeezix is today. I'm sure somebody owns it.
I bet Kevin still has him.
That'd be great. Remember when we were doing the driving sequence, the final with the drums and everything? I don't remember the drums. But we did a night shoot. You know, they're shaking the car and everything. We're in the studio and they're moving the lights and stuff. And then we finished the whole night of the driving, and we're done for the night. And we're walking back, and Charlie goes, "I forgot to have you make a turn." I forgot to have you turn the wheel. If you watch the sequence, I never turn the wheel. Driving straight the entire.
So this movie came out. It didn't perform the way you guys had really wanted to, but over the years, this room should show you. There's a lot of people who found it, and not only that, but I think Hollywood has found it. There's so many things that pay homage to you guys. Like, we showed at least 5-6 trailers before the movie of movies that took inspiration from you. Stranger Things is a whole character that they probably owe you money for. Wait, was there a point where you guys realized that this had a cult following?
A year ago. And fans had contacted me when the Blu-ray was coming out. And it was amazing because they identified so much with your character in their own in childhood and high school. And it just became their film.
Metalheads.
Yeah.
That was, wow, this summer is, I think, when I realized it, because I've done events and things like this over the years and stuff, but not too many. And I don't like the autograph signing things, I don't do too many of those. But this summer, August 23rd, we did a drive-in movie screening in Indiana, 500 tickets sold.
Wow.
I was like, oh, what the heck is going on?
And a year ago, they screened the film in the gym where it was filmed.
Well, that's right, on Halloween.
Yeah, on Halloween.
That's cool.
And I had fans driving from Tennessee and all over that region.
That's actually the guy, I talked to the guy that put that on, and that's his thing. His whole business is he goes to locations and then shows the movie, screens movies in the locations they were shot in. Isn't that a weird
So cool.
niche he found?
And then they did tours of the town where everything was shot as well.
In Wrightsville Beach, in Wilmington. Wilmington is where we shot, right, yeah. I was working at a comedy club in Wilmington, and I went out afterwards into the alley, and I realized, oh shit, this is the alley where we shot this.
Do you guys have any questions for these gentlemen? Anybody? No? You? Go ahead.
Did you keep anything from the movie? Any of the clothes or?
I'm one of those people that I don't know. I had the license plate for years, Ragman, on my bookshelf. And now, where, is it in storage? Is it gone forever? I don't know. Did somebody take it? I don't know. And we probably will never know. Yeah, I don't hold on to stuff.
Anybody else have anything they want to ask? Right here.
If any chance ever arose for you to do a sequel of any type, would you be willing to take on that role?
Do you have a script? Is that? I get people that call me and stuff. They got a script. One person said they were working with the original author on a script for a sequel with Red.
Actually, one of the fans has written a script.
And also people have written scripts as well. But no, this guy said he told me he was working on the script with Red, the original author.
Really?
Yeah, one person did. But then there's other people, they have scripts and things, and hey, let's face it, you can put it into AI, Write a trick or treat sequel. For 4 seconds later.
Do do they have money?
I haven't read it.
Oh, you read it, okay.
But say, I guess, if there
I don't even
was
know
some-
who would be in charge of making a decision like that. Like, I don't even know,
We don't
it's
have the
not
rights
Michael
to
and Joel.
sequels.
It's
We
not
have
like,
sequel
right,
rights.
right, but it's not Michael and Joel, so who would it be? Nobody really knows probably.
Whoever inherited the Atlantis company, I guess.
That's
Which I think was Sony.
That's a lot of mystery
But
stuff,
then,
you know.
It's, the rights for this movie, I can tell you, just from licensing it for this, are all.
Wow, you
over
licensed
the-
it.
Yeah. You think you
And I've never made one dime off that album, which
I
I
think
think probably
you-
sold a few copies.
Steven, I think you got some calls to make about that.
Yeah, I never got
Yeah.
I never get a check or anything for residuals, or I get residuals from everything I've done. Never gotten a check for trick or treat.
I got an ASCAP check once. Once.
Uh-huh.
For like $4.98.
Well, I think we need to get these guys some fucking money, right? All right, let's thank Mark, Chris, Steven for coming out tonight. I know Mark will be signing some stuff after. I don't know if anyone else is willing to, but
I forgot, I gotta go dig out the suitcase with the pictures in the back. If anybody wants, I've got a few, but it's gonna take me a minute.
So yeah, we'll give them 5 minutes. So everybody, yes, you go do that. Everybody clap for them because they're fucking awesome.